Welcome to Cooking with Kids. Have you been to the apple orchard recently with your family? Well, I have. Today we're making apple crisp with mascarpone cheese topping. Let's talk about our apples. When we went to the apple orchard, we asked what would be a good apple for an apple crisp. And they recommended this apple. It's a Jonathan. Another apple that was recommended is a Macintosh, red on one side and yellow or green on the other. The third kind of apple is a Granny Smith. A Granny Smith is a green apple and it's somewhat tart, but it also holds its shape when it's baked. At the library, we have many cookbooks. Some of our cookbook sections take up whole aisles at the library. These are two I checked out. They are both by America's Test Kitchen. This one is the Complete Cookbook for Young Chefs, and this one is the Complete Baking Book for Young Chefs. I would like to take the recipe for apple crisp from this particular book, but I am changing it ever so slightly. And the changes will be noted on our website when you look up the recipe. These are the ingredients you'll need to make your apple crisp. Besides our apples, you'll need old-fashioned rolled oats. You will also need flour, cornstarch, sugar, a lemon, cinnamon, salt, and some butter. These are some of the tools you will need to make your apple crisp. You'll need to peel the apples with a peeler. You'll need to cut the apples. I have a paring knife and a chef's knife, but I also have this, which is a great apple slicer. You will need measuring spoons, a measuring cup, a whisk, this will be for the topping, a zester, and a citrus squeeze to get the juice from the lemon. We'll begin with zesting the lemon. These are sharp. Lay it against the lemon and pull towards you. This will pull the zest off. The zest is actually just the skin of the lemon. And you want to go against the whole lemon to get all the zest off. Tap it in a dish and you're done. Once your lemon is zested, you will cut the lemon in half. You may need an adult's help for this part. Now, place your half of a lemon in the lemon press and just squeeze together as hard as you can. You want to do this for both sides of the lemon. How many apples will we need for our apple crisp? Well, as you can see, the Granny Smith apple is quite large compared to this Macintosh apple, which is very small. So I checked the recipe, and the recipe called for 2 pounds of apples. I just happen to have a kitchen scale, so I put 2 of the Granny Smith and 4 of the red apples on the scale, and that equals 2 pounds. So these are the apples I will use for my apple crisp. If you don't have a scale at home, that's okay. If you go to the grocery store to buy apples, just use their scale to select 2 pounds of apples. Now we will peel the apples. Place the peeler on the apple and turn the apple in one hand and take the peel off the entire apple. Some people like to make their apple crisp with the peels on. I prefer my apple crisp with the peels off. Once you have your apple peeled, you'll need to slice it. You could use a knife or you could use your apple slicer. But just be aware that the apple slicer requires good muscles. When you pick a pan or a dish to place in the oven, you must look at the bottom to make sure it states that it is oven safe. Now we need to prepare the apples to go in the oven. Do you remember the lemon juice we squeezed? Take about 1 tablespoon of the lemon juice and put it all around the apples. And it's okay to mix it either with your hands or with a spoon. Apples have lots of sugar in them, and when the apple hits the air, it likes to turn brown. Look at this one. It's already turning brown. The apples have been coated with lemon. Now we'll sprinkle them with 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix it together well. As you can see, the apples look very shiny. That's from the sugar and the cornstarch and that little bit of salt. Put your apple mixture in your baking dish. Next, we will make the crumble topping. Into a bowl, I've put the oats, sugar, and cinnamon. Now we need to add the butter. It's asking for 5 tablespoons, and most butter packages have the butter tablespoons marked, and you just cut right through the paper. To the bowl, I've added 2/3 cup flour. Now, we'll mix it together first with a spoon, and then let's have some fun and use our fingers. You want to break up the butter into little sized chunks, about the size of a pea. If you don't want to get your fingers all full of butter and sugar and oats, you can always use a fork to stir up the topping. Take the topping and spread it evenly over the apples. It's okay to use your fingers for this part too. Press it down. Next, we will bake it in a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. We're going to make a special topping for our apple crisp. We will use vanilla extract, heavy whipping cream, the lemon juice you made at the beginning of this recipe, the lemon zest, powdered sugar, and a special kind of cheese. It's mascarpone cheese. It's an Italian creamy cheese. I've put the mascarpone cheese in a dish. You can use a whisk like this, or I found this really fun mixer at a garage sale. It's very sturdy, and you hold the handle and you can mix just about anything. To the mascarpone, I'm adding 1/4 cup of the heavy whipping cream. And then I'm going to mix and mix this. I've been mixing the cheese and the milk for about 2 minutes. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of the powdered sugar, and I'll mix this up for about another minute. Do you remember zesting the lemon? You'll add about a teaspoon of the lemon zest. You don't have to pack it down really well. And then 2 teaspoons of the lemon juice that you freshly squeezed. Also add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I like to use real vanilla, not imitation vanilla. It gives it a better flavor. Now, once again, mix it for about 1 minute. Once you've mixed the mixture, it's always good to take a little taste to see if it's too sweet or too tart. This is about right. So now all I need to do is put this in the refrigerator until the apple crisp is ready. Our apple crisp has been in the oven for about 40 minutes. To check it and make sure it's done, you want it nicely browned. Sometimes you'll see the juice bubbling up, and when you put a fork in a couple of places, it will go in smoothly and you know the apples are soft. Now we have to wait for our apple crisp to cool off before we can eat it. That'll take 20 to 30 minutes. The apple crisp has been cooling for about 20 minutes. The apples will still be nice and warm when we go to serve it. If you prefer your apples cold, then wait another 30 minutes and you can even chill the apple crisp in the refrigerator. The fun thing about apple crisp is you only have to pick it up and spoon it into a dish. This is a ramekin. It's a 5-ounce ramekin. There. Oh, my apples are still nice and warm on this. Add about a tablespoon of the mascarpone cream cheese mixture to the apple crisp. Next thing to do is to sit back and enjoy your delicious apple crisp. That was delicious. Remember, the recipe will be available on the Clinton-Macomb Public Library website. And thank you for joining Miss Alicia and making apple crisp.